My name is Dr. Muhammad Iltaf Hussain, and I am working in the Department of Livestock and Dairy Development, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Peshawar, as a veterinary officer. Today, we will discuss prevention, control, and eradication of zoonotic diseases. So, first of all, we should know prevention. That what is prevention? So, prevention is inhibiting the introduction of a disease agent into an area, a specific population group, or an individual. And now we come to control. So, what is control? Control is mainly consists of steps taken to reduce a disease problem to a tolerable level and maintain it at the level. Eradication is the final step in a disease control program. It consists of the elimination of a disease producing agent from a defined population or geographical area. Now we come to measures for the prevention and controlling of zoonotic diseases. So there are a lot of measures for the prevention and controlling of zoonotic diseases. So first of all, we always wash our hands with soap. We can also use alcohol-based sanitizer that is contains at least 60% alcohol. Hand sanitizers do not get rid of all types of germs, so washing our hands with soap and water is better than sanitizer. Prevent bites from mosquitoes, ticks, flies, and fleas and scratches from animals, which carries different types of zoonotic pathogens. We must learn different ways to handle food safely. It may be ourselves, our families, our pets, or other animals. We should be aware of zoonotic diseases both at home and away from home, such as zoos, animal exhibitions, and children care, or child care settings, schools, and when we are traveling. Health professionals should educate the public about zoonotic diseases to effectively practice prevention and control. The link among humans, animal population, and the surrounding environment is very close. In many developing countries where animals provide transportation, drought power, fuel, clothing, and source of protein, that is meat, eggs, and milk, in the absence of proper care, this linkage can lead to a serious risk to public health with huge economic consequences. Network among public health, medical, veterinary laboratories, and research centers working with zoonotic pathogens should be established or strengthened. Well managed and well connected natural spaces or protected areas are also essential in safeguarding biodiversity and increasing the resilience of ecosystems both on land and in the ocean. The measures must also include the effective regulation and monitoring, and in some cases, closure of live animal markets, as well as combating the illegal trade in wildlife. So these markets mixed with the illegal trade in wildlife put people and animals in constant close contact, making it easy for zoonotic diseases to jump from animals to humans. Furthermore, humidity depends on the ecosystem services provided by the intact forests, wetlands, and other habitats. We rely on them for fresh water, carbon sequestration, and flood control, among other things which make life possible. Recognizing the importance of these ecosystem services, a new post 2020 Global Biodiversity Framework is under discussion, which includes an ambition to protect at least 30% of the Earth's surface by 2030. There is no contradiction in fighting zoonotic diseases alongside protecting natural spaces. It is time to move beyond seeing investments in nature as costly indulgences but as a critical step to protecting human health. Improved and sustained collaboration between medical, veterinary, and wildlife authorities is necessary to improve surveillance and control of zoonotic diseases. The zoonotic diseases generally requires combined applications of vaccines, biosecurity protocols, movement controls, slaughter of affected animals, and quarantine of premises and husbandry management, among other measures. Now we come to some main principles that is for the prevention and control of zoonotic diseases. So there are mainly five principles of zoonosis prevention, control, and eradication. Programs are focused upon breaking the chain of transmission at its epidemiologically weakest link, that is reservoir neutralization, reducing contact potential, increasing host resistance, chemoprophylaxis, immunization. These are five main principles for the prevention and control of zoonotic diseases. The first one is reservoir neutralization. So there are three methods used to neutralize the reservoirs. The first one is removing infected individual, accomplished in two ways: test and slaughter and mass therapy. Second one is rendering infected individuals non-shedder end. The third one is manipulating the environment. The second point is reducing contact potential. So three methods are used. The first one is isolation and treatment of cases. Second one is quarantine of possibly infected individuals and population control. The third one is increasing host resistance. Zoonosis may also be controlled by increasing host resistance to infection, and veterinary medicine, genetic selection for resistance, and reducing stress by improving nutrition or by better shelter is routine procedure. The fourth one is chemoprophylaxis. It's medication is administered and chemoprophylaxis, and it attempts to prevent infection or at least reduce the severity of the disease. The fifth one is immunization. Vaccine is used for two purposes: to protect susceptible individual from infection or disease, and the second one is to prevent transmission of infectious agents by creating an immune population. To be most effective in controlling disease, the stimulus of immunization should be sufficient to prevent infection as well as a disease. Now we have some recommendations for the prevention and control of zoonotic diseases. So the recommendations set forth here can help governments, businesses, and other actors not only to respond to and mitigate future disease outbreaks, but also to reduce the risk of their emergence. The recommendations are: the first one is awareness among the general public, governance, strengthening the integration of environmental considerations and the World Health Organization (WHO), FAO, World Organization for Animal Health. Science expands scientific inquiry into the complex social, economic, and ecological dimensions of zoonotic diseases. Finance, improve cost benefit analysis of emerging diseases prevention interventions to include full cost accounting of societal impacts of disease. Monitoring and regulation, develop effective means of monitoring and regulating practices associated with zoonotic disease, including food systems from farm to fork. Incentives, include health considerations and incentives for sustainable food systems, including wildlife source foods. The next point is biosecurity and control. Identify key drivers of zoonotic diseases and animal husbandry, both in industrialized agriculture, intensive husbandry systems, and smallholder production. The next point is agriculture and wildlife habitats. Reduce further destruction and fragmentation of wildlife habitat by strengthening the implementation of existing commitments on habitat conservation and restoration, the maintenance of ecological connectivity, reduction of habitat loss, and incorporating biodiversity values in governmental and private sector decision making and planning processes. Capacity building, strengthen existing and build new capacities among health stakeholders in all countries to improve outcomes and to help them understand the human, animal, and environment health dimensions of zoonotic and other diseases. Operationalizing the One Health approach, adequately mainstream and implement the One Health approach in land use and sustainable development planning, implementation, and monitoring, among other fields. Now, some key actors in implementing the recommendations include: the first one is research institution, the second one is national and local government, the third one intergovernmental organizations, the fourth one non-governmental organization, NGOs, and businesses. That's all about the prevention, control, and eradication of zoonotic diseases. Now, if you have any question regarding to this topic, so you may ask through comments. You may ask through my Gmail, that is driltaf@gmail.com. And if someone not yet described my this channel, so please subscribe my channel and click the bell icon to receive new notifications for the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching and thank you so much.